long before the name Peter Obi echoed across Nigeria's political and economic landscape, he was simply a boy in Onitsha, a bustling city filled with the energy of trade and the rhythm of ambition. Born into a modest family, Peter grew up surrounded by the noise of marketplaces and the constant negotiation between buyers and sellers. For him, business wasn't just a choice, it was a language he learned early. His father owned a small shop, and from there, young Peter absorbed the principles that would define his life: honesty, prudence, and persistence. Unlike many children his age, Obi wasn't drawn to games or distractions. He spent time watching how money flowed, how traders built trust, and how small mistakes could ruin big opportunities. That was where his foundation began, not in luxury, but in the simple understanding that success must be earned through value. When Peter Obi entered the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, he carried with him not just dreams but a purpose: to transform what he had learned in the streets of Onitsha into structured business knowledge. Even as a student, he was known for his discipline and focus. He studied philosophy, but his real classroom was the business world. He read about Warren Buffett, studied market trends, and was never afraid to ask questions about how wealth was created. During his youth, Obi wasn't the loudest or most outgoing, but he had one thing many lacked: clarity. He believed that money was a tool, not a trophy. He worked quietly, saved diligently, and learned from every failure. This mindset set him apart. He wasn't chasing quick riches, he was building a foundation that would last a lifetime. After graduation, Peter Obi entered the business world fully. He founded Next International Nigeria Ltd., a company that would grow into one of the country's top import and distribution firms. But the journey wasn't easy. He faced stiff competition, unstable markets, and financial uncertainty. Many doubted his approach. He refused to cut corners or play dirty, insisting on clean business even when it meant slower growth. Next International became known for its transparency and efficiency. Obi personally handled negotiations, often flying to Europe and Asia to secure deals. What made him different wasn't just his sharp mind, but his calm, methodical approach. Through determination, Obi built a network of international partners who respected his integrity. Bit by bit, Next International became a symbol of what Nigerian entrepreneurship could look like when rooted in discipline and honesty. Peter Obi didn't stop at trading. His success opened doors to the financial sector. He became a major shareholder and board member in several Nigerian banks: Fidelity Bank, Guardian Express Bank, Future View Securities, and others. Unlike many who flaunted their success, Obi remained grounded. He lived simply, drove modest cars, and avoided the lavish lifestyle common among the rich. He was not motivated by wealth itself but by impact. His philosophy was clear: to be rich is to make others richer. Through mentorship and leadership, he encouraged young entrepreneurs to see business as service, a mission to solve problems, not just to accumulate wealth. No great story is without struggle. Obi faced times when business was tough: economic downturns, import restrictions, and shifting government policies. But instead of giving up, he adapted. He studied the patterns of global markets and made wise adjustments. His calm decision-making during crises earned him the respect of his peers. There were moments of deep frustration, but Peter Obi never allowed emotions to guide his decisions. He was a man of reason, calculating, patient, and precise. When asked about his secret to surviving hard times, he once said, "The key is to live within your means. The problem is not money, it's discipline." That sentence became a reflection of his life itself. Peter Obi's business life is best described by one word: prudence. He believed in accountability and moderation. Even when his profits soared, he maintained a low profile. He avoided waste, preferring to invest in people and knowledge rather than luxury. Colleagues recall how he would question every expense, no matter how small. To him, efficiency wasn't stinginess, it was respect for resources. He taught that a businessman's first responsibility is not to impress, but to sustain. His success wasn't built on extravagance, but on a deep respect for value and order. It was this same character that later made him stand out in politics, the businessman who refused to waste public funds. By the early 2000s, Peter Obi had already established himself as a successful entrepreneur. But his next calling was larger: public service. When he entered politics, many were skeptical. But Obi approached governance like business, with focus, accountability, and results. As governor of Anambra State, he applied corporate principles to government spending. He cut unnecessary costs, paid debts, and left billions in reserves. For him, public office was another form of enterprise, one that required even greater discipline. His leadership became a case study in how business integrity could transform governance. Today, Peter Obi is celebrated not just as a politician, but as a businessman whose life teaches simplicity, prudence, and value. He remains a voice of reason in a world that often glorifies excess. His business journey from the dusty markets of Onitsha to the boardrooms of Nigeria stands as proof that ethics and success can coexist. He built a life on trust, knowledge, and courage, and continues to inspire young Nigerians to do the same. To him, true wealth is not counted in money, but in the lives positively changed. Peter Obi's story is more than a tale of financial growth, it's a philosophy. It's about how one man turned ordinary beginnings into extraordinary influence through discipline and faith in principles. His rise from a humble trader to a global voice for prudence teaches us that success is not luck, it's consistency. He refused shortcuts, refused corruption, and refused to let fame change his values. While many businessmen chased luxury, Obi chased efficiency. While others spent to be seen, he saved to make a difference. He reminds us that in a country where wealth is often loud, true success is quiet, steady, responsible, and impactful. Obi's life is a mirror for young Africans. It says, you don't need to inherit wealth to create it. You only need integrity, patience, and vision. From his business boardrooms to his days in government, Peter Obi has proven that leadership and entrepreneurship share the same foundation: service. The more you give, the more you grow. And so, the boy from Onitsha who once watched traders argue over small profits became the man who teaches a nation about financial wisdom. His message is timeless. Don't let success change you. Let it shape others through you. In every sense, Peter Obi's business success is not about what he gained, but what he gave back: a legacy of honesty, prudence, and hope for a new generation. Peter Obi's name may forever be remembered in politics, but his truest success began long before public office, in the quiet aisles of business, where integrity became his greatest asset and discipline his most profitable investment. For generations to come, his legacy will remind us that greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it speaks in calm, steady actions, the kind that change lives, build trust, and light the path for others. And that is why, in every sense of the word, Peter Obi is not just a businessman, he is a philosophy, one that teaches that the journey to prosperity begins not with wealth, but with wisdom, work, and willpower.